to discuss about the new topic, that is obstructive uropathy, and it is related to genitourinary system in child health nursing. First of all, we have to know about the structure of the kidney. First one is pelvis, then ureters, after that bladder and urethra. Okay. In this, the obstructive uropathy, if any in these anatomical structure, if any kind of obstruction are there, then it causes obstructive uropathy. Okay. What is that? Definition of obstructive uropathy is when urine cannot flow either partially or completely through ureter, bladder or urethra due to some type of obstruction. Instead of flowing from kidneys to bladder, urine flows backward or reflexes into kidneys. Okay, if where the obstruction is present in the pathway of the urine flow, whether it in ureter, bladder or urethra, there is a start the backflow rather than the normal flow. Okay, and where the problem is present, the above part of that problem, that is swollen. Then the causes, there are various causes of obstructive uropathy. Obstructive uropathy occurs when urine cannot drain through the urinary tract, okay, in a normal flow. Urine backs up into the kidney and causes it to become swollen. Obstructive uropathy can affect one or both kidneys. It may be problem creating one kidney or the another. If problem present in one kidney, then it is uni-obstructive uropathy. It can occur suddenly or be a long-term problem. Common causes of obstructive uropathy, which includes, might be bladder stones are there, kidney stones are there, benign prostate hyperplasia, then bladder or ureter cancer, then colon cancer, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, any kind of cancer in that particular area. Scar tissue that occur inside or outside the ureter, scar tissue that occurs inside the urethra, and problems with the nerves that supply the bladder. The symptoms of obstructive uropathy in children may include blood in urine, okay, then decreased urine output as compared to normal, feeling as if the bladder is never empty because there is a residual urine are there. Residual urine are that urine when child void, after that some urine pending in the bladder due to any kind of problem, for example obstructive uropathy. And fever occur due to infection because when the normal flow are not there and black flow is there, that time the urine is stasis or stay or stop in the kidneys or anatomy of the urinary tract. That time it cause infection, and infection cause fever. After that, frequent urination, then nausea, vomiting, pain in the side or back near the kidneys, and swelling of hands, feet, arms and leg due to the backflow or due to the stasis of urine. Weak and slow urine stream. Then during pregnancy, if the amniotic fluid is lower than the normal, then it may be the chances of causing the obstructive uropathy in unborn child. Then pathophysiology of obstructive uropathy. The urinary system developed during the embryonic stage, and the urine manufacture and flow in the amniotic fluid start might be 7th or 8th week of pregnancy. And when the normal flow are missing and because of any kind of obstruction, then backward pressure produced above the level of obstruction. Okay, then back pressure of accumulation urine, when back pressure are there, urine accumulated on the above of the obstruction, then it cause urinary tract distended. That area where the urinary stresses that become distended, and this may lead to stresses, then collection of urine in the renal pelvis. After that it cause infection. Sometime it become very dangerous and cause death due to renal insufficiency. It is all about the pathophysiology of obstructive uropathy. Then assessment. What kind of assessment we have done to know about the child suffering from obstructive uropathy? There are history of neonate at the time of birth and his family history. If any kind of problem run in the family related to kidneys, and physical examination to determine obvious defects. How we know in physical examination? Might be swelling on the abdomen, and we know about this by palpation of the abdomen. Continuing observation for clinical manifestation. Child shows the symptoms when it goes in advanced stages. Then presence of abnormal amount of amniotic fluid or abnormal number of umbilical vessels. If the amniotic fluid are lower than the normal, or umbilical vessels are more than or less than the normal quantity, usually in the umbilicus there is 2 arteries and 1 vein. Maybe in this case 1 artery or 1 vein, maybe 2 arteries, 2 vein. There is something abnormal are there. Then physical assessment. How we assess the child physically? To check the distended bladder, palpate the abdomen. Then check the color of the urine, check the amount of the urine and pattern of voiding. Check the strength of urinary stream in male infant. Usually when the child suffering from obstructive uropathy, that time the urinary stream become weak in male. Then check the temperature. If the temperature is high, it indicates infection occur due to the urine stresses. Right? Then physical examination again. Infants may be suffering from convulsion. Infants means the child age less than 1 year may be suffering from convulsion due to infection caused by obstructive uropathy. And in older children, convulsion are missing, but children feel chill when temperature is present, when temperature is high in the children, the age more than 1 year. Child may suffer from feeding difficulties, diarrhea and failure to thrive. Failure to thrive means the child do not grow and develop normally. Then the next is diagnostic procedure. How we know about the problem such as obstructive uropathy? First of all, catheterization. When the child done the voiding, immediately catheterize the baby so that you can know about the residual urine, amount of residual urine in the bladder. Then intravenous urography is used to visualize the urinary tract and measure renal excretory function. Then cystoscopy examination to know about the bladder. Then urine culture to know about the infection. Blood test to know about the renal RFT, renal function test. Okay. Then the next is management. How we manage this problem, that is obstructive uropathy. The management is done through surgical correction or diversion of urinary flow, and any kind of infection controlled through antibiotic. If any kind of infections are there after the surgery, then antibiotics are provided to the patient, provided to the child, so that that infection become recover. Then nursing care. How we done the nursing care in preoperative phase or postoperative phase. In preoperative, first of all we have to clear the doubt of the parents, and so give the answers to their questions so that they become relaxed and reduce their anxiety little bit. And in preoperative phase, the parents become prepared, parents become ready to face the appearance of their infant after the surgery, because after the surgery there is lots of tubes are there. If the parents are aware before the surgery, then they become less anxious as compared to they do not know anything about it. This is our responsibility to explain each and everything to the parents, right? Then preoperative care. First one is catheters which drain urine from any site in urinary tract such as kidney, ureter or bladder. It helps to excrete the urine. Then stents or tubes to carry urine past a surgical site without leakage, and drain which provide a way for leaking urine to reach the surface of the body so that the infection should be prevented. After that, postoperative care. To measure the output of urine in catheter and record it, care must be taken to prevent from contamination of urine and to check any blockage of catheter such as kinks or twists. Then blocked catheter must be irrigated with normal saline. Then infants' hands should be restrained so that they do not interfere with the catheter and do not try to remove the catheter. To check the color of urine after surgery, if there is any changes in the color after the surgery, it might be due to the presence of blood. If the color is bright red after the surgery, it might be due to the presence of blood. And after the surgery, after the advanced day of the postoperative period, the color reached up to the level of normal. And if there is any abnormality and any other things are there, then our responsibility to explain to the parents regarding changes after the surgery so that they become relaxed and take care of their child. I hope you have clear with this. Thank you very much.